All right, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss why some human lives are disposable. Now, spoiler alert, I don't really believe that. Okay, I don't believe any innocent human life, whether they're born or unborn, is expendable or disposable. They're all important. They all have value. Jesus died for every single one of them. That's why he went to the cross. Okay, they all have right to life. But I wanted to throw that disclaimer out there real quick because of the title of the video. I don't want anybody thinking I'm some kind of homicidal maniac like a Hitler, right? One who thinks it's okay to kill a certain segment or a certain group of human beings. I mean, I'm not pro-choice after all. So I want to be very clear about that and make that distinction. Okay, anyways, though, let's jump right into today's topic. Everybody knows it's a scientific fact that life begins at fertilization, at conception, right? That's when the sperm fertilizes the egg and that zygote is created. That's the point where a brand new human life is formed. One with its own DNA, one that has never before been in existence. This is a unique human being. But at fertilization, that's the point where science tells us there's this flash of light, okay? As that human being, that human life comes into being. And it's pretty amazing, really, if you've never looked into it. But this is that moment in time when a new human being, one created in the image of God, comes into existence. We can agree on that. And from there on out, if left to itself, if not murdered, it will typically grow and it will develop into a born human being just like you and me. Now, there are science deniers out there, but even many pro-choicers will acknowledge these scientific facts. They know it's a human life that's growing in the womb. The problem is they'll still argue that it's not really a person who's worthy of life and worthy of protection. They'll do these pro-choice mental gymnastics, jumping from illogical claims to irrational beliefs, from unscientific viewpoints to philosophical jibber-jabber, if you want to call it that. They'll say things like, yeah, I know it's a living human being, but it's not really a person until it reaches what I consider the point of viability. It's not really a person until it reaches 24 weeks of gestation and it can survive on its own outside the womb. They'll say other stuff like it's not really a person unless it has sentience, unless it has this consciousness, it has feelings, and it can perceive its surroundings, right? And rounding out the ridiculous list of claims, pro-choicers, pro-abortionists, they'll say it's not really a person until it takes its first breath. Okay, it's really mind-boggling the depths that they will go to in order to justify abortion, to justify the murder of tiny human beings. But what do all these pro-choice or pro-abortion talking points have in common? Besides the obvious selfishness behind them, what's the common thread that ties them together? Well, besides being blatantly false, besides being completely unscientific and illogical, well, what makes them similar is that they're nothing but excuses that are disguised as facts. They're excuses for why it's okay to dehumanize a particular group of people, a segment of the population. They're lame attempts at justifying the murder of innocent human beings in the womb. They're pathetic explanations of why the abortion holocaust of our age is not only okay, but also why it should be allowed to continue. Okay, it's really sad that people can be that sick and deranged. If we know, which we do, science tells us that it's a human life in the womb, then we should not discriminate against it. We shouldn't do so based on, its size, its location, or on its physical or mental abilities. We shouldn't discriminate against unborn children because of their genetic makeup, right? Okay, not because of their chromosomes, not because of any real or potential disabilities they may have in the future. We simply shouldn't discriminate. Sadly, though, that's exactly what the pro-choice crowd does, and that's what they advocate for. Every day they engage in discrimination, in ableism, in extreme prejudice, and ultimately in eugenics. Just like the Nazis in World War II Germany, these pro-abortion individuals, they support the killing of those who are different. To pro-choicers, the weak, the defenseless, the disabled, and the unborn in general, they're all fair targets. They're targets whose very right to existence depends on the whims and the feelings of other people. And that's not right, okay? It's safe to say pro-abortionists are on the wrong side of history, just like every other group that supported human rights violations. So to answer the question from the title of this video, why are some lives disposable? Well, because people are sinful. They love their sin more than they love their unborn neighbors. They value their consequence-free sexual behavior more than they do the lives that are created through that act. Why are some lives expendable? Because some people in the pro-choice movement, they're selfish. To them, life is all about me, me, me. That's what it all comes down to. They don't care about biblical truths. They don't care about scientific facts. Logic and reasoning, it means absolutely nothing to them. You see, they're led by their feelings and their emotions. They're controlled by their selfish desires. And when that's the driving force in your life, it's hard to convince you that anything's wrong, even the murder of innocent babies. All right, well, that's our video for today. That's what I wanted to talk about. If you liked it, hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. But real quick, I want to make a shout out. I'm wearing one of my new shirts that came in from the Black Friday sale at abolitionistrising.com. Okay, it's a pretty cool shirt. It says abolitionist. I know my beard's in the way a little bit, but it says abolitionist. It's got the abolish human abortion symbol on the side, just like my hat, which is also from the same side. On the back, there's a picture of an ultrasound from a baby, I believe it's at 11 weeks in that first trimester, and it says, equal rights for all humans. So it's a pretty cool shirt. You can find stuff like that and more online at their site, abolitionistrising.com. So hit them up. Unfortunately, their Black Friday sale just ended yesterday, but you can still get some good deals there. All right, well, thanks for watching. You all have a great rest of your day. Thanks.